chemistry was crazy from the get-go. Neither one of us knew why. We didn't build nothing overnight, cause a love like this takes some time. People swore it off as a phase, said we can't see that. Now from top to bottom, they see that we did that. Yes, it's so true that we've been through it. Yes, we got real yes, see baby, we've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. And I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. Anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call the radio if you just can't be without you, baby. Yeah. I got a question for you. See, I already know the answer. Still, I wanna ask you, will you lie? No. Make me cry? No. Do something behind my back and then try to cover it up? Well, neither would I, baby. My love is only up and up. Yes. I'll be faithful. Yes. I'm for real. Yes. And with us, you'll always know the deal. We've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. Oh, and I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. If anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. Call the radio if you just can't be without you, baby. Yeah. See, this is real talk. I'ma always stay. No matter what, good or bad, thick and thin, right or wrong, all day, every day. Now if you're down on love or don't believe, this ain't for you. No, this ain't for you. And if you got it deep in your heart, deep down you know that it's true. Come on. Well, let me see you put your hands up. Hands up, fellas, tell your lady she's the one. Tell your lady she's the one. Oh, put your hands up. Hands up, ladies, let him know he's got your love. Look him right in his eyes and tell him we've been too strong for too long. And I can't be without you, baby. I'll be waiting up until you get home, cause I can't sleep without you, baby. Oh, with anybody who's ever loved you know just what I feel. Too hard to fake it, nothing can replace it. On the radio if you just can't be without you, baby.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Yes, we are moving. Earlier in the video, I recorded 3 houses that we toured. We toured a total of 5, but I only recorded 3 because those houses were empty and those houses were older homes, meaning they were built in the early 2000s, like 2005, 2006. The last 2 that we went to see were newer homes. I'm gonna get into the backstory in a minute of why we haven't purchased a home, because I know a lot of y'all want to know that, because y'all nosy. Say nah. The last 2 houses is in a newer community just built last year. We didn't show those because someone is still living in the home. So I was not about to record. That's just, it's weird. I did record one of them, just a teensy bit. And I'm also pop in some screenshots, and y'all bear with me because y'all know I be all over the place when I'm trying to explain stuff. One of the main purposes of this video is to, first of all, bring y'all along on this journey, because a lot of y'all are my day ones. You've been following us since the beginning, so why not keep it going, right? But let's back it up for a little bit. You know, we moved here back in, I want to say 2017, 2018, one of those years. My memory is not the greatest. Of course, we wasn't about to come here to try to buy a house. First of all, I have a bankruptcy on my credit. That's first and foremost. It will be off though. this year. Praise God. It will be off this year at the end of the year, though, in December. Yeah, that story in itself is a whole nother thing. We didn't even have to get it. We're now being educated on bankruptcy and everything. We didn't have to file, and that was a mistake that we made. We lived and we learned and moved on. Back when I was younger, I was reckless with my credit because I just didn't know any better. Well, let me kind of take that back. I did know. My mama told me. I just was hard-headed. My mama told me, don't mess your credit up. You're going to need your credit. I didn't listen. I had credit cards. That was pretty much it, though, that I could remember. And this all started back when I was like maybe 18. As soon as I turned 18, I was applying for credit cards. And, you know, Capital One, they'll let you get a credit card. Interest rate through the roof. You know, they start you out with $300 or whatever. At the end of the day, you probably end up paying twice or triple that. And honestly, back then, I treated credit cards as like free money with no intentions of paying it back. Just being real. And yeah, so that's how that was. Credit horrible. 500, 505. I think I remember one year when I was like in my 20s, I think I seen it in the 400s. That's long gone, but praise God, we're in the 733 to be exact. Once this bankruptcy goes off, hopefully it shoots up maybe 50 points or whatever. I don't know. That whole credit system is a scam anyway. That's just a little game they play. It ain't a little game. That's a big game they play with us with this credit stuff. But hey, I mean, we live in America. It is what it is. We got to play it. You know, we just got to learn how to strategically play the game, right? So now we got most of the backstory out of the way. Well, not really, because I was trying to touch on when we first moved here. Of course, we wasn't thinking about purchasing a home. My credit back then was like the low 600s, and Cleveland's was around the same. Yeah, we wasn't thinking about purchasing a home. For one, like I said, credit was too low. Now, I know it's a lot of loans and stuff that you can apply for, first-time home buyers and stuff like that. I know. One of the other reasons we wasn't thinking about purchasing a home is because we didn't even know if we was going to really like Florida like that. You know what I'm saying? Like enough to purchase a home. That's a big move, to purchase a home in another state when you're just moving to that state, when you're not 100% sure that, like, we were like 95%, maybe 95% sure that we wanted to live in Florida for the rest of our lives, God willing. Now that has changed to 100%. I do not plan on, like, that's me. We don't know what God got in store, or we don't know what God's plan is. But my plan is not to move from Florida. We love Florida. So fast forward, we moved from that house. And the reason we moved from that house is just, to be honest, I just got bored with that big house. And it was just like, some of the kids are getting older, they're moving out. So why do I need this big house? Like, I don't care to have a big house. I just want to downsize. That's when we seen this place here. And it was a big mistake. And I'm going to tell you why. Not the house, the area. We didn't do enough research on this area. And it's a well-known community, I guess you want to say, that houses a lot of Airbnbs, a lot of vacationers, a lot of tourists. And I'm tired of being in the middle of that. I'm tired of being in the middle of it. I'm tired of the traffic. A couple days ago, we were coming from Universal. It took us an hour and 10 minutes to get home. With no traffic, Universal, from here to Universal is maybe 15 minutes top. And I'm gonna put a screenshot in because I took a picture and sent it to Deja. Because when we left Universal, her and Jay went to Trader Joe's. So I sent that picture to her to let her know what the traffic was given. It's just too crowded over here. And like I said, that's our fault because we didn't research the area. And we did research the area, but not research it in that way. I can't stand I-4. I cannot stand I-4. And we live right off of I-4. So we have to jump on I-4 for basically everything if we want to go to Orlando. And if you've been here on vacation, you know I-4 is a beast. And like I said, we didn't know that. We didn't research that. Where we lived before, which was Clermont, we never took I-4 to get to the parks or get to Orlando. We didn't have to. But as far as the community is great. Well, it has went down since we first moved here because they switched management. So yeah, we decided to move, and we're not buying or looking to buy at this point of time. I would rather have the bankruptcy completely off of my credit, for one. And for two, I don't think it's a good time to purchase a home right now, with everything being so inflated, you know, and it might not ever be a time. Things are not going to get better, in my opinion. God is an awesome God, and we just never know. So I'm not going to say I don't think we're ever going to be able to purchase a home. I just don't know, because like I said, we serve an awesome God, and he's always looked out for us. He's always provided for us. He's always came through. Always came through. So we want to move back to Clermont. We shouldn't have never left. And that was another mistake. You live and you learn. You know, life is full of you know. And yeah, we shouldn't have never left. We have been looking at houses in Clermont and Winter Garden. Like I told y'all, they're older homes, but I don't discriminate because, hey, listen, I'm not trying to live above my means. You know what I'm saying? I never have. Just because I can, I guess, afford it, you know, when you put it down on paper, I don't want to be at the top of that, you know, because anything can happen. So I don't want to be caught up. Hold on, y'all, because Chanel trying to get back in. So like I said, I don't discriminate. I wanted to go see and view them to get a feel for it, to see, you know, get the vibes, you know. The community in all of them would look great. If I can afford a little bit more without going over my means, why settle? I think I deserve better. And those houses, they just didn't fit the vibe. Hey, I just want to pop in real quick and let y'all know that all three of those houses that were outdated, I kept saying old, but I really meant outdated. Y'all seen them. The tubs in some of them were discolored. You know, Cleveland peeped a lot of stuff. Like we smelled mold in one of them. One of them smelled heavily of pee. Now, I just don't want those problems, because we move into one of those homes and, well, not the one that smelled like pee. I guess we just gotta, I don't even know, because they ain't even had no carpet. Yeah, one of those, they didn't even have no carpet, I don't think. So I don't know where that pee was coming from. Maybe it was soaked into the floorboards. Like, why would I move into something like that if I don't have to? And praise God that I don't have to, right? Cleveland found a lot of stuff, because he just, I don't know, that man just automatically sent stuff. Like, he sees stuff that I wouldn't see. Like, how did you even see that? Oh, we picked a house, by the way. We picked a house, so I'll get into that in the next video. But plus, those other houses were bigger. I just, maybe when my kids were smaller, that would have been, you know, perfect. But now I'm like, one of them, as soon as you walked in, it smelled like pee and mildew. Can't say I like the layout on some of the houses, but another thing is I don't want to go as big as the house when we first moved here. That son came through like, hey girl, hey son. You know, I just don't want those type of problems. Like I said, when we walked in, one of them, it smelled like pee. The other one smelled like mildew, and it just wasn't for us. And like I said, I think we deserve better. The last two houses that we seen that was in a newer community was on Zillow. And I see Zillow now allows you to put in an application for the houses on their website. They have a whole little like rental little system going on Zillow. And I didn't know that. So I decided to go on Zillow, and I found a couple houses that fits our needs. Now, it was a lot of houses that I really did like, but they were just way above what I was willing to pay a month. Like I said, I can, and I say that humbly, but I don't want to, for reasons that I explained earlier. Yeah, I couldn't vlog, which I wish I could have, because they're beautiful homes. And I already got approved for both of them. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. And I applied for both of them through Zillow. They're going to look at your credit. They're going to do a background check. They're going to check with your previous landlords. They're going to do that residential score I was telling you about. And the residential score is basically, they take, I don't know if I'm explaining this right. You can look it up yourself. But they take your previous rental history and your income and like get a score. My score is 815, and the highest you can get is 850. So my score was pretty high. I think the lowest is like 3 something. Like I said, I'll include screenshots. I'll try to block out some of my personal information, but I'm trying to be as transparent as possible without putting all my business out there. They also gonna do a background check. They're going to see if you have any past evictions. We have old apartments, you know, way back when, but that's off my credit. I was probably included in the bankruptcy. But other than that, no actual evictions. What else did they do? You have to list references. And one of the references I included was my mother, and they actually called her like 5 minutes after it was all automated. I kind of like this system because everything is automated. You don't have to wait for a human to get this stuff done. A recording called my mother 5 minutes after I submitted my application, and she said it was just a recording. All they did was ask her, does she know me? Was her name such and such, and was she my mother? Like I said, I did get approved for both. One of them was through a realtor, and the one we went to go see yesterday is through this, I guess they Korean. It's a Korean or Chinese, I'm not sure. So we met the wife yesterday. We met up with her at the house, and such a nice lady. Her husband, contacted me and said, yeah, we're gonna approve you for the house. He said it was a couple other applications for that house, and mine was the one that had the better credit. So they chose me. And that's one of the reasons why I like to put in multiple applications, even though you do have to pay an application fee. Now, one of them was like $65 and the other one was like $49, and that's for them to run all the checks or whatever. So be mindful of that, because that's going to add up. If you put in like 4-5 applications, that's going to equal up to a couple $100s. It's just like applying for a job. It's going to be other applicants. Actually, the realtor called me on my way to see this house, the last house, and said we were approved. But I still wanted to see this house, see what the vibes it was giving. And I still decided to put in an application for that house as well. So I had already was approved for that first house that we seen, and I still decided to put in an application for that last house that we seen. So now we got to make that decision on which one. I'm leaning towards the one that we seen yesterday. For one, it's $400 cheaper than the first one. It's the same amount of bedrooms, same amount of bathrooms. It's 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. The layout is kind of the same. So we probably most likely end up going with the house that we seen yesterday, because like I said, the rent is cheaper. Beautiful community that they just built. Well, both of them are. One of the things that I looked for when I was looking at these houses is when I walk in, I want it to be like, I need light. The cons for the other house, the one that's more expensive, is the yard is not fenced in, and the yard. Oh, and another thing we was looking for or not to have in any house was a huge yard. Like our first house, we had so much grass. Like, no, we're not looking for that much grass. We just want a little bit. A little backyard, just enough just enough. And both of those houses gave that. But the first house, the more expensive one, is not fenced in. So your neighbors is like, hey. And I don't care. I don't care to, I just don't care. Like, I would say hi. I'm a friendly person, but not a talkative, like, hey, want to have a conversation and stuff like that. Y'all know me. When I come outside, just say like now, I don't want my neighbor right there. Maybe she's watering the grass or whatever, try to come over and start a conversation. Like, I want no part of it. Like, I just don't. So that was kind of a turn off. And another thing with that one is just, it's like a wall. Like, as soon as you walk out in the front, I try to put a picture in. If I can find one on the internet. Like I said, I didn't vlog it, but if I can find one on the internet to kind of give y'all a vision of what I'm talking about. So as soon as you walk out, all you see is a wall. You see like a little black gate, and behind that gate is a wall, and it's all dirt up there. So they're probably going to fill in, or not fill in, but they're probably going to put houses up there. They're not even done yet. They're still building houses in the community. The cheaper one, the one we went to yesterday, the neighbors has a fence, so you can't see the neighbors. The back, it's a view of the lake. Now they planted trees there, so the trees are gonna fill in, but all you see is a lake and wilderness, and I love that. Nature, right? I love that, to be able to come out and look at that. You can actually see that from a lot of the windows in the house. I think that's it that I can remember off the top of my head. My honest advice to y'all is to, get your credit intact. Stop swiping those credit cards. Now, y'all know I do a lot of shopping, but your girl don't be swiping. I don't swipe my credit cards like that. I done lived and I learned, and I know credit is tea. So I've been there, done that. And that's one mistake I'm not going to go back to. Another thing I wanted to say is add your children to your credit cards as an authorized user. That's if your credit card is in good standing, if you're paying your credit cards on time, because it helps their credit. Whatever information about that credit card that's on your credit is going to go on their credit. So it can either help them or hurt them. Yeah, I have my kids on my credit cards as an authorized user. I do use them every now and then. I don't even have my credit cards on my Apple Pay. I don't carry my credit cards with me in my wallet. But if you do use them, don't make a huge purchase on them unless you can pay it off, like pay it right off. Don't do the monthly payments. I mean, I'm just saying, this is just like in general. I mean, you got to do what you got to do for whatever, especially if it's an emergency. You got to swipe it for a huge emergency or whatever, and if you have to pay monthly payments, do it. But if you don't have to, I would just pay it off, because you want to keep your credit utilization down. That helps your credit out a lot. Of course, you don't want any collections on your credit. You don't want any bankruptcies on your credit. Now, a lot of these companies will accept you if you have a bankruptcy. It just can't be like an open bankruptcy, like a freshly I forgot what they called it, but it can't be fresh. I had no problem getting into any of the homes that we've gotten into with the bankruptcy. But thank God it's going to be off in December. If you paying your credit card monthly, make sure you pay it before your due date. Pay it before the statement date on your statement. So look at your credit card bill, and it says like the statement ending date or something like that. Say if your statement ending date is February the 20th, and which is February the 20th is when, sorry, this sun is getting to me now. Now February 20th is the statement ending date. Like I said, when they're going to report to the credit bureaus. But your due date for your payment may not be until March the 5th. So if you can pay it before, a couple days before your ending statement date, so you can kind of get that balance down before they report it to the credit bureau, if that makes sense. You can always go on here on YouTube. That's where I learned a lot. But yeah, all that information is free on YouTube. Just look it up. Dave Ramsey is another channel you can go to. I mean, he have books and everything like that. Him and his daughter, I watched a lot of his videos and took a lot of his advice and stuff. But yeah, the information is out there, people. The information is out there. If you want to get your credit together, you can. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If I helped you out just a little bit, can you give this video a thumbs up? Leave a comment down below, you know, or a question or whatever the case may be. If you're new here, you're just not seeing my face and I helped you out, just hit that subscribe button, girl. It's free and I promise you'll love it over here. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.